Destiny 1, a world full of countless memories, countless hours, to the loot cave, to the Gallahorn, to the Icebreaker, Crota's End. Man, I could go on and on about Destiny 1. Destiny 1 is probably my most played game ever. Right up next to Black Ops 3. Shout out to my Black Ops 3 players. But in today's video, I wanted to deep dive into why Destiny 2 was a fail and why I didn't put as much time into Destiny 2. If we look at Destiny 2, it is fairly successful. Way more successful than Destiny 1. Seeing how successful Destiny 2 is brings the question, why do I prefer Destiny 1? Oddly enough, the Destiny 1 storyline wasn't good. You had to listen to hours of lore, hours upon hours of lore. There's a YouTuber out there named Life, and he makes hour-long Destiny content before the next DLC would be released. And if I have to listen to an hours-long worth of lore, that means the story's way too complex. It didn't even show any of this lore throughout the game. So there was a bunch of cons within the story, but then the cons also came into Destiny 2. Like, it was a pretty borderline basic storyline. The starting storyline that started Destiny 2 off. So either way, they balance each other out. It was the end game that mattered. Me being one of my first times diving into a looter shooter, it was kind of like a good comparison could be the Elder Scrolls Online compared to Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online was an MMO, totally different. You had to wait a week for a quest to go through, and there was other people roaming around. It didn't feel the same as Elder Scrolls. Reflecting back into a looter shooter, it was my first looter. I played it and I was like, what is this? Why do I have to get up to these levels to do these certain tasks? Why do I need to be level 30? Can't I just have somebody carry me through certain tasks? Which, then you learn. Because these were in my young days, back in high school. And I'm still young, not freshman young. I'd wake up and I remember Muffin Man. It was like Muffin Man 2000. If you're still out there, Muffin Man, thank you for inspiring me to bring me on this journey. Hell, without you, this video wouldn't even exist. Funky Monkey played with me. We met on LFG, and I just shot him a message. I was like, hey, let's party up. Help me through some of these missions. It was the Vault of Glass mission, where you're right outside the Vault of Glass, about to open it up, and go in there. And so he joined into the party and told us, oh, I'm about to run my first raid. And I was like, a raid? What is that? That sounds cool. Me and him and the squad are about to run up a raid? Back in the day, you could use the LFG system over Xbox. I don't know if it's still a thing. I haven't been on Xbox in a while, but you'd LFG and people would be willing to carry you. And this goes into my first point of the fact that running a raid in Destiny 2 became so hard. Nobody would want to sit there and carry new people through a raid. They had these stat trackers, which are good and bad at the same time. These stat trackers, these emblems, I guess, and these emblems would then show how many times you've passed the raid, or they could look on like Destiny stat track and they could see how many times you've done a raid. And this kind of made it so if somebody joined and they only ran the raid like a couple of times, they were like, this guy's only ran the raid a couple of times, you need 5 runs to at least play with us, he's a pleb. And I've ran into those people. There are those type of people. That was like the core concept of Destiny that made it so fun, is teamwork. I loved working as a team. And that was stripped away. Now, I haven't played Destiny 2 in about 2 years, so let me know in the comment section down below if this has changed. And maybe I just got unlucky. Going into my next point was I would always wake up super early, weekly reset. Weekly resets are still a thing last time I checked. Zur, funny story about Zur and Destiny 1, if for those who don't know, Zur would come Friday and Saturday. He would come around 4 a.m. I believe my time. I'm Mountain Standard Time. So when Zur would come, I would always be the first to go find Zur, right? I'd open my Destiny app. It would say Zur is here, and you could see what Zur had, and then I'd find his location, and I'd send my friend Connor. I'd send him a text, 4 in the morning. Zur's at this location. He's got this, this, and this. I wouldn't expect a text message to wake somebody up, but apparently it did. And his mom eventually took his phone and sent me a text, "Don't text Connor this early." So I'm sorry, Jen. Zur's kind of been stripped away now. At least at the beginning time. At the beginning of Destiny 2, Zur didn't feel like he had that same oomph. I don't recall exotic shards. I don't recall exotic bounties. Exotic bounties were awesome too. I don't remember these core aspects that I love to grind for. And so having that rarity of Zur while you were grinding for him, or grinding for his exotics and getting all the exotics, and having that competition with your friends. Oh, who's going to get all the exotics first? Oh, who's going to get the, who has this first? It doesn't feel like it's there anymore. Regardless, let's dive into the next point, is everything has turned gay. What do you mean everything's turned gay? Are you trying to be offensive? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I just remember it turning, what's Pride Month? Pride Month's like June. In June, I remember a bunch of LGBTQ being pushed on the game. I don't remember any political beliefs or political statements happening on Destiny 1 whatsoever. But then when it was pushed on there, I was like, man, let me take a step back. I don't like this. I don't like this woke pushing LGBTQ glorified. It didn't resonate with me. I don't think it resonates with most people. There's probably this silent majority of LGBTQ supporters that are like, yes, they support the gays, but I mean, does this really matter? I want to go loot. I don't want to see rainbow flags. And a lot of games do this, and I stopped playing these games. And I would, most of my friends, and maybe I got an echo chamber, do the same. When a lot of these things go political, they stop playing. Really enjoyed the soundtrack. I don't remember the soundtrack being as fire in Destiny 2, but it was the first game I was actually able to sit there and till this day I put on some of the Destiny tracks. The Traveler, that was a banger. Crota's end sword, when you pick up Crota's sword and you're wielding that huge ass sword, badass, like you're a badass going up there to slam Crota down. The son of Oryx is Crota. Or it might be the opposite way around. Even while you're going to kill Oryx, Oryx's soundtrack was banger. So many banger soundtracks came out of that. Siege Engine. I remember Siege Engine. Bungie also, they pushed this agenda that was Activision. Activision was the reason that our game flopped. Which, can we just take a step back? You're blaming somebody else for why your game flopped. Yes, I get they might be the publisher. I understand. Okay, now our game is going to be fire, right? Without Activision working behind it. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Let's make our game free to play. That sounds great. That's going to bring a lot more Destiny players. I remember hearing this, and the game still continued to have these problems that we thought were Activision's problems. They continued to have these microtransactions. They continued to push out, $40 to $70 DLCs with the Battle Pass. And seeing that was just, wow. I thought it was somebody else's fault. I thought I could trust you, Bungie. Maybe I'm just being too harsh. And maybe people won't like me for that. And maybe I've got some things wrong here and there, but I'm open to discussion. We need to have open discussion. So please, let me know your thoughts below. Maybe I'll go back to Destiny. And thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. It means a lot. Thank you. I'm in Phantom! Oh my god! I'm a Phantom!